Well, it's another day and a little bit windy out. It was cooler last night. I think it's only supposed to get up to +2 today.
Yeah, it was -4.
-4 last night.
No, last night was -8. It's -4 now.
All right, last night was -8. It's -4 now. So we're taking this opportunity to move our other little, what's going to become a goose barn, shed, breeding coop, whatever you want to call it, that we meant to do last year but kind of didn't get that far. So we're going to get that done. I think I want to say it's 8 by 3. Don't quite remember. It's a little smaller than the other one. But what we're going to do is move it using the reliable rolling log method, which works really great if your buildings are built strong enough. So we're going to roll it through, and we got to roll it through those two gates where we've got the sheep pen and down to the area we want it.
I'm not under on this side. I gotta push my own.
And that's how you relatively quickly move a small building on skids without a tractor. That task is done. Well, at least getting it through the pen there. Basically, we need to do a series of events to get everything where we need it. This kind of goes back to our list of things to do for the spring. So we're going to take you through somewhat the plan, or at least the starting point of the plan of what we're planning to get done here, which will be really good to get these off the list and get them moved around to where we want them. So step 1, move this. This was originally a goat barn that we used and moved here, and we brought it and we set it up on end because we were planning to do something with it, and it's basically sat here since we moved here. So it's been there for a while. The next step is to get this building moved. Same deal. This came when we moved here, got plunked there because we were planning to get it moved into place, and we never did. But we now have a bit of a plan because this building and the building that are up on end are exactly the same size. So we've got some ideas for some pig setups that we think will work pretty well. So we're gonna get that in place, and hopefully that'll go pretty smoothly, although I don't think we're gonna finish that today. And the last one, before we can move the little goose shed over here, is this building, which is going to become another chicken coop for us. Originally we used that as a grow out pen, but we think we may turn it into a breeding coop and then sort of sort out our grow out pens later. Yeah, that's sort of the plan as of right now, is to get those 3 buildings kind of shifted around and in place. After a whole lot of deliberation, we finally figured out what we're doing, which shouldn't take us.
This is how we operate. It's like 2 hours of
figuring
planning
it out,
and then changing plans and figuring it, and then we go, oh, we haven't done anything. It's taken so long, and then bam! It's like it hits us. We got the right plan, and away we go.
But look, it's down.
Yes.
So we're going to get it
Only
moved.
like a year after it arrived here. More than a year.
There it sits, where it's going to be. We've got a little bit of work to do still. Actually, a lot of work to actually make it usable, but we've got it sitting on the garden ties, which was another recycled bit. The whole building's basically recycled, and this is going to become kind of multifunctional for both the Kuni pigs and possibly sheep if we need to.
So this is how one man moves a shed. building will be our second pig barn going into place. You don't even need me.
Is that true?
We've moved a lot of buildings around many times with this method. But on that note, I better go help.
We're getting close. Oops. Well, it's getting kind of late in the day and we got to go do chores. But I figured I'd show you where we got to. We didn't do too bad, considering, but there's still a bunch more stuff to figure out, some minor details. But here, let's take a look. We did get that barn got down, which is awesome, and we've got basically we've got that all leveled. It's pretty much sitting where it's going to sit. It just needs the finishing touches, but we don't really need it in the near future, so this will be something we'll probably come back to in a little bit. And then this building, we finally got moved to where we want it. We're going to dismantle some of it, some of the outer parts, because we're going to repurpose some of it, because we're eventually going to make it identical to this barn. And we do have to still get it kind of leveled off, but it's mostly done, and it's where it's going to sit. Now this won't look like we moved it much, but we did move the chicken coop a little bit, and we've got the runs laying there. We've got to do some work on that one too, because the one that was the catalyst to all of this was this building here, which is going to be another goose breeding pen. And you can kind of see some boards laid out. We kind of did a little bit of a, I don't know, preliminary, what are we going to do with it, sort of thinking, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. Planning, that's what it is. We did some planning on the fence for that, and we'd really like to get that set up because we'd like to put the second pair of geese out here, and then we think for this year we're going to keep one pair in the barn. But the reason why it's there and why this mattered so much of getting all these buildings set up is because this right here is the roadway which goes down into the old borrow pit, which is going to become our food forest. What we'd like to do, I'm going to pan around here for a second, this whole area back here behind the barn, I'm going to go all the way 360 right around.
Oh, I'm in the way.
That's all right. So what we'd like to do is, obviously this is the channel that goes back to the back pastures. We have another building planned here, which we have, again, most of the material for. It's going to have a pen off of it. Now that pen's going to come kind of along the top of this ridgeline somewhere. And what we'd like to do is have a gate there that we can close it, so that essentially that area that I just kind of did the 360 around could be used by something as a summer grazing area, because the grass grows pretty good down here behind the barn. But we also have an issue here that we can't really get in the ground in a lot of places because this was the access road. So there's some pretty big...
and when they took the sand out, any rocks got piled up here.
Yeah, there's some pretty big rocks under here. So it's a great area, and we want to have it open enough, kind of the middle area where we're standing, we want open enough that we can, bring a truck in or use the tractor or that kind of stuff. So this whole thing we did today, and the planning for it, is kind of our way of reducing
the amount of fence posts that you need.
Yes.
Because we can only get maybe 12 inches in the ground here.
So for here, this chicken run comes out 12 feet, or will come out 12 feet, and we've kind of measured it off. What we're going to do for the back end of this pig run is there's going to be about a 10-foot gap between them, which will be perfect for a drive-through gate, so that if you had to take the tractor into there, you could.
And all the pens are done at right angles so that you've got corners to put your gates off,
yes,
so that you don't have pressure on a post that's not in very far.
Yeah, and to be a bit more self-supporting above ground. Now the fence in the background here, this wooden fence, it's barely in there. It's going to eventually all come down, and we are going to have a fence that kind of in behind here comes around, We haven't quite figured that out yet, but anyways, this is phase 1. Figure out where the buildings go, get the buildings set up so that we can use them, with the priority
it's our mini
being...
building barnyard.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a little mini village
How
back
many
here.
buildings do you think we'll have in the end?
Oh.
Let's do a guess right now.
20.
I'm going to say there'll be 20 buildings on our property. That includes greenhouses.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what there is already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's already 12.
13 plus the barn is 14, plus the one over there is 15.
Okay, so we're going to have more than 20, but they're all small. On that note, we're going to come back to this and see where we get to, but that's basically was today's adventure, is shed moving.
Not to be confused with shed wars.
Not to be confused with shed
Although
wars.
we could probably win shed wars with all of our sheds.
If there was a prize for
The most
the
sheds.
most sheds, we probably take it right now. But anyways, we made some progress. Feeling good about it. We'll see where we get tomorrow on this long weekend.